When you think of Spanish food, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Probably paella. That glorious golden rice dish, piled high with succulent shrimp, mussels, and clams, the very image of Mediterranean sunshine on a plate. But what if I told you that the original paella contained absolutely no seafood at all? That it was born not on the coast, but in rice fields inland, and that for centuries it was considered peasant food? Come along as we uncover the true history of paella, Spain's most famous and most misunderstood dish. Our journey begins over 1,200 years ago, in the 8th century, when the Moors crossed from North Africa into the Iberian Peninsula. They brought with them something that would change Spanish cuisine forever: rice. The Spanish word for rice, arroz, comes directly from the Arabic arroz. Along with rice, they introduced advanced irrigation systems and the cultivation of saffron, that precious golden spice that would one day give paella its signature color and flavor. For centuries, rice remained a staple of the eastern coast of Spain, particularly in the region of Valencia. By the 15th century, rice farmers working in the marshes around Lake Albufera, a freshwater lagoon just south of Valencia, had developed a simple but ingenious way of feeding themselves during long days in the fields. Picture this: a group of farm laborers, tired and hungry, gathered around an open fire. They had a large, shallow, flat-bottomed pan with two handles called a paella in their Valencian language, from the Latin word patella meaning pan. Into this pan, they would toss whatever ingredients they could find nearby: rice from the paddies, green beans, tomatoes, onions, snails from the fields, and sometimes rabbit or duck for special occasions. They'd add water, saffron, and cook it all over a fire fueled by orange tree branches, which gave the rice a subtle smoky flavor. The result was a hearty, satisfying meal that could be eaten directly from the pan with wooden spoons. This was the original paella long before anyone thought of adding shrimp or mussels. It was humble, practical, and absolutely delicious. Now, here's where things get interesting. The word paella itself has a fascinating etymology. While most linguists agree it comes from the Latin patella via the Old French paille, there's a romantic alternative theory. Some say it comes from the Arabic word bakiya, meaning leftovers, a reference to the Moorish custom of servants combining royal banquet leftovers into a single rice dish to take home. Another charming legend claims it was created by a lover for his fiancée, with the word being a corruption of the Spanish para ella, for her. While these stories are more myth than fact, they speak to the dish's humble, multicultural roots. For centuries, paella remained a regional dish, virtually unknown outside Valencia. The first written recipes for rice dishes resembling paella appeared between 1750 and 1800, but the word paella itself didn't appear in print until around 1900. It was still considered a rustic peasant meal, something the Spanish elite looked down upon. In fact, Spanish aristocrats preferred beans over rice, considering rice cultivation in waterlogged paddies to be unhealthy and associated with poverty. But paella's destiny was about to change. In the mid-19th century, something shifted. As living standards improved, Valencians began taking their beloved rice dish to picnics and gatherings in the countryside. By 1840, a local Spanish newspaper used the word paella to refer to the recipe rather than the pan for the first time. The dish was gaining recognition. Then came the coastal influence. Fishermen along the Mediterranean coast adapted the recipe, replacing meat and beans with seafood caught fresh from the sea. This version, paella de marisco, began spreading beyond Valencia's borders. By the late 19th century, both versions, the inland original and the coastal seafood adaptation, were becoming popular throughout Spain. The turning point came in the 20th century. As Spain opened up to tourism, particularly in the 1960s, tourists flocking to the Costa del Sol and Costa Brava were introduced to paella. They fell in love with the colorful seafood version, which they associated with seaside vacations and Spanish sunshine. When they returned home, they craved more, and so paella began its conquest of the world. In 1959, Ernest Hemingway wrote about paella after a visit to Valencia, helping to popularize it among English-speaking audiences. The 1992 Barcelona Olympics put Spanish cuisine on the global stage, and paella was front and center as the unofficial national dish. Today, paella has evolved into hundreds of variations. There's paella valenciana with rabbit, chicken, snails, and beans. Paella de marisco loaded with shrimp, mussels, clams, and squid. Paella mixta combining meat and seafood. The dramatic black arroz negro colored with squid ink. And countless creative interpretations around the world, some authentic, some, well, not so much. This brings us to one of the great culinary controversies of our time. What makes a real paella? Valencians are famously protective of their regional dish. They insist that true Paella Valenciana contains no seafood, only chicken, rabbit, snails, green beans, and a type of white bean called garrafon. Seafood, they argue, belongs in Paella de Marisco, but should never be called simply paella. And then there's the chorizo debate. When celebrity chef Jamie Oliver added chorizo to his paella recipe, it sparked outrage across Spain. Valencians were horrified. The term arroz con cosas, rice with things, was coined as a derogatory label for such bastardized versions. The famous Spanish food writer Josep Pla once declared, "The abuses committed in the name of Paella Valenciana are excessive and absolute scandal." But here's the irony. Some historical research suggests that traditional Valencian paella may have included chorizo after all. So perhaps the debate will never truly be settled. Beyond the controversy, here are some fascinating facts about paella. The largest paella ever made was in Madrid in 2001. 80 chefs worked together to create a paella in a pan 21 meters in diameter, which fed 110,000 people. In Valencia, there's an annual paella competition called the Oscar of Paella. The Concurso Internacional de Paella Valenciana de Sueca has been running for over 50 years and is considered the highest honor in the paella world. The socarrat, that slightly caramelized, almost crispy layer of rice at the bottom of the pan, is considered the most prized part of the paella by true connoisseurs. Achieving the perfect socarrat without burning the rice is a mark of a skilled paella cook. In Spain, Thursdays are traditionally the day when restaurants serve paella for lunch. And in Valencia, cooking paella is often considered a man's job, much like barbecuing in other cultures. So, the next time you dig into a steaming plate of paella, remember, you're not just eating rice and seafood. You're tasting over 1,200 years of history. From the Moors who brought rice to Spain to the farmers who invented it in the marshes of Valencia, from the fishermen who adapted it to the tourists who spread it worldwide, from the controversies over chorizo to the sacred socarrat, paella is a dish that carries the soul of Spain in every grain. Now I want to know from you. Have you ever tried authentic paella? Do you prefer the traditional Valencian version with rabbit and snails, or the seafood paella that conquered the world? And would you ever dare to add chorizo? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button to help the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe now and ring the bell, because every week a new story is coming out of the kitchen. Hasta el próximo plato.